Thanatos? Are you around? Hello? Are you in here? It didn't take me long to find him, as he was standing by the window, looking outside. Oh, that's very cute. This goobery little sketch. Hey, is now a good time to talk?
Sure.
So, about what you said downstairs, about your memories?
What about them? I thought I was pretty clear about it.
Well, I guess, but why? Why are they missing? He just continued looking out the window, looking out at the trees. What parts are still there? Do you know who could have deleted them at least?
I do. I just don't understand why.
Who?
My master. He's the one that would have done it. Are we going to repeat the
but
master
when?
conversation now?
Yeah, because I think it happened in the other route.
Yeah.
He just shrugged, placing a hand on the glass and shifting slightly. It is a little noteworthy to me that, like... an iffy thing about Route G is that it reveals the same information as Route B at certain points, but much less impactfully.
Yeah.
Like... And I have mixed feelings on one hand. Like, one... If I remember correctly, Roswell's confession about dying was slightly more motivated in Route G, but it was significantly less impactful because Dave doesn't care, the scene is over immediately, and it's basically not mentioned again. Whereas in Route B, it's supposed to be a big deal, it's just really poorly set up. But similarly here, this is so much more weight is put on this revelation for Thanatos. He literally has a CG, whereas it was like a quick discussion in Werewolf. So it's like I don't know if it's a good idea to even reveal information like that in alternate routes, if it's going to be like, well, here's a Cliff Notes version of the other route where it's meant to be discovered. It's like, well, maybe it shouldn't be revealed if it's going to be less impactful now, because now it's pre-revealed before the scene that you're clearly trying to be more high impact in, and you don't have control over what order we experience these scenes in. And I don't think it even came up again in those routes, so it was almost like it was just being revealed for parity with this route, but giving us a Cliff Notes version of a route as if it's like we're fast forwarding through it doesn't work if it's the one we play first, which is valid. And you'd expect the bad route to go first anyway, so it almost feels like you'd expect people to play Werewolf first, then this one, so why does it spoil this one? Kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And on that note, like, I admire Riz's ambition to have this many CGs eventually when they get finished, but it's very telling how many of them are just people standing around and being pensive because there's no action to draw. So it's not really like, oh shit, here's Duke finding Arturo and stuff like that going down. Like, there aren't big revelation moments to do CGs of constantly, so while I do appreciate that there are CGs in here, they are almost always just someone looking off in the distance sad, instead of just showing the normal sprite. He shrugged, placing a hand on the glass and shifting slightly.
One part of me not remembering, do you not understand? At some point, my master deleted my memories of this sequence of events. As for why, beats me. Well, I mean, I think the assumption here is if this is what leads to the good end, which he wants, he wouldn't delete it. So if it probably leads to a bad end. So you're fucked. Sorry, Thanatos.
Yeah, or it reveals the master, or his behavior somehow fucks things up when he knows what's happening. Like, it's something motivated here. But yeah, CGs like this are actually, even if they don't have much to show, they are a good idea just in that it cements a moment as being memorable. It's like, I think, like, it's good to have my ideal for a VN is to have a CG every time a really high impact important character moment is happening or a dramatic beat, because you remember the visual. Like, that's one of my favorite things about the production level of Arches was like, oh my goodness, Paint Fox, you went ham on this one. And it works so well compared to just watching sprites and text. So what? We're just left guessing as to what's meant to happen? But what about Roswell?
I said he'd be fine.
In one version of events, anyway.
I trust what my master told me. We just have to wait.
So your master knows what happened to Roswell?
You'd have to ask him.
Hey, Thanatos, are you okay? Get a sad little face.
Huh?
Like, I don't think having your memories messed with feels very nice, so are you okay?
That's not a question you should be asking a robot, Dave.
He's literally got, like, the tired eyes, like, streaks under his eyes. He's got bags. He looks so worn out. Still, would you rather me just leave you alone?
I just want to add, for like comedic effect, we were talking earlier about how the last episode that we recorded was just beset with technical difficulties. I'm just sitting here on my desktop while the game is playing and while we're reading our dialogue, and my mouse just broke. It just straight up doesn't work anymore. It cracked. It just doesn't work. I clicked too good, and my mouse just shattered. So that's annoying, or at least the one I was using.
Now he's trapped with us. He can't escape. Get ready for the 8-hour password
escape.
stream.
It hurts, Ness. It's pretty bad. So that's annoying. I'm gonna walk to my closet and grab another mouse real quick. Nah, probably better if you stick around. Besides, take a look out the window.
I looked behind him and saw the endless trees, mountains, rising and falling. Somewhere out there was Roswell and a bunch of bad people.
As big as my cage is, this is about as far as I get to see out of it. What the fuck are you talking about, Thanatos? You've walked, like, literally into the woods before.
Yeah, but this is it's up high. You see far. So you really can't leave the house?
Remember, this body just lets me look around and move a bit. It's better to think about it. That I'm a part... It's better to think about it that I'm part of the house.
Yeah, that's how words... Even if we put you on, like, a disc or something?
Yeah, good luck with that. I think the world is full enough with only one of me.
I sat down next to him and continued looking out the window. So, if you can't leave, how did you meet your master?
It was a long time ago. So long that even he doesn't remember.
Because it wasn't in this timeline?
I remember what it was like back then when we first met. The first time I was switched on.
I can't believe that, of all things, Dave understands the timelines now. That's the thing that he's on.
It's remarkable that's out of all of the basic concepts he can't understand. Yeah. It's the most complicated and weirdly contradictory one that he's like, no, this makes perfect sense.
Which he has the least experience with because of how few timelines have happened. I remember knowing... Oh.
I remember what it was like back then when we first met. The first time I was switched on. I remember knowing nothing. I remember feeling nothing.
You can feel things now?
What are feelings if only electric signals in the brain? I can mimic most of them, enough that it doesn't matter to me.
Which ones can't you copy?
I've been asking myself that for the past few lifetimes. Can I feel fear? What's it like? What about love? Hope? Sadness?
Do you know what happiness is like?
Yes, if abstract.
Meaning?
Meaning I understand fundamentally that if my master is happy, then I should be. Makes me have responses in a certain way when I know I've done a good job.
Who's a good boy? Pride?
Beats me.
He turned away from the window and sat down next to me, looking at the floor.
I'm tired, Dave.
Because?
No one's meant to live this long. No, it's been too long because I've already cycled through thinking about if I'm alive, or what it means to be alive, or if life has meaning, or if a certain quality of life is worth upholding.
To do a little backseat
what
directing?
What do you mean, buddy? I feel like everyone thinks that every once in a while. I feel Dave has thought about that, and Dave is like 18. Is that too long to live, Thanatos?
Yeah. To do a little backseat directing, I'm tired, Dave, is a high-impact moment to have him first turn around for the first time in the CG, not have left the CG already and be in this scene again where he's a funny robot screen. Like, if he stayed looking listfully out at the horizon the whole time, then finally turns to say that he's tired, and you see that face that he has where, with the sad eyes, you're like, oh, fuck. I'm feeling something. But instead, you cut to this dumb little face, and that doesn't work as well, because now he just sounds annoyed. I don't get it.
Say, for instance, you went from a normal hyena to being in a terrible accident. Something so horrible that you're left bedridden for the rest of your life, barely able to function.
That sounds awful.
It does, but you'd be alive.
But is that living?
That's the point I'm making. I'd say yes. You are in fact alive, so that's it.
But you don't get to go outside or do things. It's like you're just there, existing.
Wow. He's explaining Thanatos to Thanatos. That's my point. You have vitals. You're alive.
It's more than that. Being able to feel and do and see things, get some sort of nice feelings from things, and bad feelings too, I guess.
I think we're supposed to read this as like a moment of like character development or whatever, where Dave was like suicidally depressed before, and now he's not because of this. You know, like what a moment. He's explaining that you need to be motivated and do things in life, but like I don't think this lands because that also felt unearned. So
yeah, it makes
it a little weird.
There's a touching idea to the person who is suicidal now explaining the value of life to the robot that themselves doesn't fully understand what they're missing and so on. But it's also mixed because like there's a relatively high frequency of Dave being homicidal to Thanatos not far from this point in the timeline.
Yeah.
So they're not exactly bonding, so he goes so rapidly between being like homicidal towards Thanatos to being like, oh man, poor little guy, he just needs a shoulder to cry on, I'm gonna help him out, I can fix him. It's like the level of investment doesn't match up entirely, but I can see where the scene would work.
I don't understand.
Maybe it's not something robots can understand. He seemed to sit with that sentiment for a moment, still quiet by the time I thought of something else to ask. We've had this conversation before, haven't we?
You get that?
No. Did you say it?
Oh, great. Yeah, I said the line. Lot of shit going on my computer right now. Potentially. If we did, I don't remember it.
What do you still remember of this situation?
Most of today is just empty.
That wasn't what I asked.
I remember witnessing you and Tyson having an argument. I remember Roswell being somewhere alive.
As in he's already here?
You didn't get that either, I assume?
No, none of that came through. I heard something like tap in the background. Like I literally heard room noise, but not you.
What the fuck? I'm
All right.
so confused.
I think it's time to dual wield fucking TeamSpeak again. Jesus Christ, Discord's a fucking horrible program.
God. All right, let me open TeamSpeak. Fuck.
Sorry, everybody. The internet's worse every day.
I don't understand
every
what's going
program
on.
we use becomes shittier every day. And Discord used to
User
be
entered your
better
channel.
for free than it is now when you pay for it.
User left your channel. Channel switched. Channel switched.
That's cool.
Can you hear me?
Am I transmitting on Discord?
Can you hear me?
Yes, but you can't.
Microphone muted. Microphone activated.
Hello?
Hello?
Microphone activated.
Hello? Toaster can't hear me on TeamSpeak now. Alright, let's get into the tools, figure out why the fuck that's happening. Why is this getting so hard? It's just voice programs where we talk to each other. Why is this getting so hard? I don't understand. Hello? Okay, there we go.
Hi, I can hear you now.
Okay, so now we're streaming in Discord and talking in TeamSpeak because TeamSpeak has one job and it can't do it. Its one job is just to transmit voices and it won't do it.
You mean Discord. TeamSpeak is actually the MVP right now.
Yeah. I'm tied back to the thing. It's wild. Like, I literally heard you, I heard the sound of, you basically, like setting down a pencil or something, like that kind of noise, but couldn't hear a single sound of you reading Thanatos' line. You were being just 100% muted. It's incredible. Like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Why is it like this?
I have voice meter open and I am staring at it, and there has not been a single second.
I know that you're speaking normally. It's just that this fucking TeamSpeak Discord just thinks it knows better, but it's so bad at its job that it literally can't filter out room noise successfully, but will 100% remove your entire voice as if you never said anything. To the point where both times that happened, I genuinely couldn't even tell that you cut out, because it just didn't start your transmitting your voice to begin with. It's astonishing.
Understand. I'm so frustrated about this. It's like
getting worse over the course of this playthrough. And we specifically use a Discord. Not only are our Toaster and I both paying customers of Discord, I know that because we can both post dumb emojis places, but we're not even using our streaming Discord because that's too low traffic. We're specifically using the high population public Discord that I have set up for the fans, where I have a secret streaming channel, because of the fact that people boost that Discord, which is supposed to enable it to have higher quality audio and better bit rates and all that. It's literally at this point, probably a few $100s are invested from various people to enable us to be able to speak clearly and better, and that money is just being flushed because Discord is a bad company. I'll just say that explicitly, because that's the only thing you can say about something where those things are all happening, and that's the outcome. Your service doesn't work and it's paid for. That's bad. What the fuck, guys? Anyway, back to Thanatos. Back to reality.
It sucks that we're stuck with Discord when we need it for things like Fugi for other stuff. It is maddening.
We can't use TeamSpeak because it doesn't activate Fugi. So much is built around Discord because it's so popular and it's not good.
All right. If he was already here, I would have just said that. He's just around for something later.
Which means he either returns or Dean finds him.
And without knowing which of the two options to go with, it's hard to know which leads to what I've seen. We could be on a new branch, to be honest.
Which means what?
Means I'm still deciding on which path I want to try.
Why not let Dean go in and try and find Roswell and we just see what happens?
And if it goes horribly wrong, Can you live with that on your conscience?
Thanatos, this just isn't a compelling response when every time we make any
Extremely.
decision ever, everyone's response immediately is, but what if the bad thing happens? It's like, cool, you'll say that if I choose the other option, so
Yep.
cool. That you can always say that every time, to every choice, including the choice of not doing the choice. And if waiting is the wrong choice, can you live with yourself knowing you talked us out of it? Yeah, he can. He keeps looping.
I don't have a conscience. I just chalk it up as a fail and go through it again, but different the next time.
Which is going to be hard with parts of your memory missing, isn't it?
I don't like what you're insinuating.
I'm just saying that we don't know how this all works. You do, obviously, but how can you know what the right or wrong call is from the fact that your memory has been messed with?
You have a point.
Meaning?
We'll do it your way. See what happens when Dean goes into the woods.
Sorry, it's just Thanatos is like, I don't like what you're insinuating by basically just repeating what I said at me. And then Dave was like, then Dave repeats it again and he's like, you have a point. And then, then Dave's like, meaning? I was like, what? You should know your own point. That was the whole why you said it. What? Okay. And I guess I should go find out why I'm going to argue with Tyson.
Sure, I guess.
Before that, though, one last question.
What is it?
How do your memories get removed anyway? It's not like brain surgery is an option, right?
Two ways. If someone could find my mainframe, they could potentially mess with it. That we'd be looking at a lot more than just a few memories lost here and there.
Not that you'd know you've forgotten bigger chunks anyway, right?
True, but it's unlikely that's what has happened based on what's left. It feels too selective.
So they,
Chances are my master asked me to forget certain things. A lot of things by the looks of it.
why?
Beats me. Maybe something bad happened, maybe something good happened, and this is a way to try and force it to repeat.
And we won't know until we ask?
Chances are, asking isn't going to help if it's something that happens long after all of these things come to pass.
But what we do know is that all this happened before, at least once, right?
You're learning, Dave. I'm so proud.
I rolled my eyes and stood up, Thanatos remaining by the window. I'm gonna go see what's happening downstairs. Figure out if Dean needs anything else before he goes searching. Do you want to come with?
I'd rather stay here and watch. I have things to think about anyway.
Well, good luck thinking, I guess. I wandered back downstairs and noticed Tyson lingering by the back door, looking outside. What's going on? Dean's heading off. Oh, I should wish him luck then. I went for the door, Tyson grabbing my arm. Huh? Wait. What? He pulled me away from the door, and the sudden shock of his movement left me stumbling backwards without offering any resistance. Don't go out there. But why? Didn't you say Dean was heading off? Yeah. So? I don't want you going out there. If you do, you're going to offer to go with him, and I think that's a shit idea.
What?
Why would I go out there? I thought we had a plan. Yeah, but last I heard, they were thinking ahead to if Dean didn't come back. Is that likely? Look, worst case scenario is Roswell went out and got killed. Dean goes out and gets killed. We don't have Benson to keep us safe, or know how the others got on the mountain, so we're stuck. Unless we go by the main road. Which we can't do without leaving Orlando behind, right? Just Orlando? Why are they so sure about that? And when did Dave stop being on the list of people to get left behind? And you bet I'm willing to leave that way if it comes to it. You just leave us behind? Esther told me that the answer was no. They intended to take me with them. I'm not leaving the others behind, Ty. As he breathed in, I thought back to what Thanatos had said. Tyson and I arguing. Was that now? Was that something he remembered? If we've somehow reduced the list to only being Orlando that can't cross that gap, I feel like everyone else can collectively help Orlando cross that gap at that point. I turned away from him, looking for Thanatos, wondering if he was watching from somewhere. And sure enough, I saw his tail disappear back up the stairs. Or at least I thought I did. Hey, I'm talking to you. Sorry, just remembered something. If I promise that I won't go after Dean, can I at least go wish him luck? Fine, just as long as you're not gonna go running off after him, we're good. Dean! The three of them turned to face me, the smell of something sweet already in the air. What's wrong?
How did talking to Thanatos do? How did talking to Tyson go?
Good? On both counts?
Learn anything interesting?
Nothing. Useful at least, but Tyson said you were heading off?
The most about of daylight we have to work with, the better. What? The most amount of daylight we have to work with,
yeah,
the better?
I think so.
Okay. Not that there would be much time in there from what Dean says.
It'll be enough. But the moment it starts getting dark, well, that's when I'll just come back. And we're sure this is all good? Please stop repeating the same conversations without adding anything new to them. I'm begging you.
There's not really anything else we can do except hope for the best.
Dean and I shared a look. I was worried. He knew I was worried, though it wasn't going to make a difference. Not if he wanted to find out what happened to Roswell. All right, wish me luck. Hopefully you'll see me before too long. We watched him from where we'd sent him off, and he shot us one last look before he disappeared beyond the trees. Then he was gone, and we were left waiting. So he's gone?
You were clearly watching. Want to explain why you didn't come out and say goodbye?
Wow, policing. Didn't want to.
Because...
What good would it do? I listened to the plan this morning. He either finds Roswell or he doesn't. Isn't going to affect us either way. It kind of feels like it'd affect us, if only a little. Way I see it, we can go find Roswell or not. Either way, it doesn't change us getting off this mountain.
It sort of does. If Roswell knows the way off the mountain, we have a way off that he and Orlando can safely take.
You know it's safe?
It's gotta be, right?
Nope, because 3 days ago, and it's fresh in my memory because I just reread it, they talked about how if they're not specifically, like, by the good graces of Memphis, totally spared and let off the mountain, that very well could just be a trap.
Yeah. To be fair, we don't know that. We know that Dominic, Jack, and Memphis arrived on this mountain somehow. We were not given any guarantees that that same path was going to be appropriate for Orlando and Roswell. Oh my God. I still don't understand why Orlando
is roped in.
Part of this.
They say it constantly. They're so sure of it. And it's like, it's akin to like the Day 22 stuff where it's like, it's an endlessly repeated assumption, but we don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like, where did that come from? It's just like vaguely implied at some point. Like the best I can have is I think that it was implied at some point that just like Roswell and Orlando and Dave just aren't that fit. But at some point, Dave stopped being in that list, and now it's just Orlando and Roswell. And Roswell's dying, so I understand without further explanation why he might have trouble. But Orlando's just a dude. He has no stated like disabilities or any kind of like specific problems with why he would be bad at navigating. I know that like there are literal athletes in this group, and that's the contrast maybe. But like, damn, like. It's starting to feel oddly ableist at some point. Like, what the fuck why is Orlando so uniquely incapable of surviving this scenario?
My guess is, here's where I'm worried. I'm worried that this is a symptom of having written other routes at the same time, and it is revealed
the explanation
somewhere
is
else.
Only there.
In that the explanation is that maybe there's a river we have to cross to get out, and Orlando doesn't swim, but then it found its way into this draft of this route. So there's the unstated fact that the game already set up that Orlando doesn't swim and doesn't know how to, and we're going to need to swim across a river in some location, even though the actual path has not yet been revealed in this route, and the dialogue fragment is still here. That's what it feels like.
That would potentially make sense if that had come up even slightly, but they do just keep saying the road, which is just a road with a hole in it. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Especially at this line. Even with how big Dominic is. So its size, Dave thinks that a size limit is why you might not be able to take certain routes.
Is it because Memphis is coming for Orlando?
As if Orlando's bigger than Sal?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why would he think the limit would be how big Dominic is? It would determine what routes you can take. Like, meaning not strength, but physical size. Like, the size will be a problem because Orlando's clearly smaller than Sal. So why would Orlando be? I just can't tell what the fuck they're talking about.
The only thing I'd say it rolls out is a narrow passage, but it's still only just guesswork. Okay, so he's saying Dominic is really large, so we have to pass through some place that's at least big enough to fit Dominic?
Yeah, which is not related to why the road is a threat, and it's not related to why the passage would be a threat, because the point is that it could be a trap. Like, because Memphis knows where you'd be going, he could just kill you.
So the thing that's confusing to me is that they're acting. So this is the impression that I'm getting. They're acting like the entire, like, this isn't what it is, I'm pretty sure, but like, let's pretend. They're acting like the entire mansion is surrounded by a wall, right? So even if they explore through the woods to get off this mountain, that at some point they're going to reach an impassable barrier. And that there's only one way off the mountain, and that way must be a hole in the wall somehow that is big enough for everyone to reach through. I still do not understand. I mean, I understand not wanting to navigate aimlessly through the woods, because it's very easy to get lost and go in the wrong direction and die in the woods. We get that. To fall into a ravine, fall off the side of the mountain and die. What has not been established is that the mountain is even particularly perilous to walk around, and that there is something in every direction blocking them off that makes only this one path possible. Like, my assumption of all of this was that the path off the mountain, quote unquote, was just literally going to be a trail that they were just unaware of the location of. And it's like, if we get on the beaten path, we just walk the path to the end and get out. But the way that they're talking about it now is like, we're gonna reach the crags. We're gonna reach the promised Neverland wall at the edge of the forest, and we're not going to be able to get over it unless we have enough rope to get over
where
it.
they learn nothing new, but then seemingly have a growing list of assumptions based on no data that keep leading to weirdly definitive conclusions about how it's going to go that contradict their own previous conclusions that were also drawn on the same level of information. So it's very strange. It's very strange. This has always been true, but it's wild watching a story try to tell a story without anything happening for the most part. And so just characters just keep like these characters have been speaking in hypotheticals about what might happen one day in the story for like most of its runtime now. And
Yeah.
they're not learning anything or trying anything, but they keep doing it. And they keep arguing and getting weirdly more definitive as if any new data has happened, even though the point of the current thing was to get data and none of it was received. And I don't... So, what are we doing if Dean comes back without Roswell?
Can we figure that out once we know?
Yeah, sure, let's just kill time and not think about it. Who needs plans? And the fuck do we do if they off Dean while we're waiting? Can we maybe just hold off on assuming that things are going to go bad, except for all the things we already assumed were bad in this very conversation, but we only assume some things? We only make assumptions when it leads to us not taking action. But if it's time to take any assumptions that will lead to us planning contingencies or taking action, now it's time to stop thinking about stuff. That's such a consistent behavior. I'm losing it because I don't think it's the point. I don't think it's like the theme of these characters. I don't think that's actually the thing we're supposed to be criticizing about them. But oh my god, everything might actually turn out fine. Tyson grabbed me by the shoulders and shook me, staring me down. And if it doesn't, I can't afford to have you die, Dave. Sal stepped forward and pried Tyson from me, acting like a barrier. Only I get to choke him.
Have some faith in Dean. All you're going to do is needlessly upset people in an already difficult situation.
Fuck off. All I care about is Dave getting off this mountain safely. And Haas too, I guess. And if that means dragging them off the mountain and leaving people behind, then fine. Wow, Haas, you're on the rescue list now.
I'm flattered, but you'd be willing to let Orlando and potentially Roswell be stuck on the mountain with the mafia?
Oh no, you're stuck with your dad.
I think they did establish that his dad wanted to kill him, but...
I don't know if it was full on kill, just that he does hate him or something, but it's just...
No, at one point I thought he said, like, Memphis said there was nothing he wanted more than to put a bullet in his head or something weird in aggro like that. I think we commented on it.
I don't know how Orlando exists in a world where the stakes are let's go on a fun vacation to begin with if things are that bad where the dragon mafia wants him dead in the town what he be in.
I agree, but also in the one ending where he lived so far, he was killed by the dragon mafia.
I was like, even then I was still trying to like is it the rival clan? Is it the rival family?
Yeah.
Like he's in Dojima clan and that's the Tojo clan or whatever. Like shit, wait.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Fuck. I mixed it up, I think. Omi Alliance, there we go. The Dojima family is in the Tojo clan. I haven't played a Yakuza for a year. I'm sorry. I want to get back to it. Yes. Sal quickly smacked Tyson upside the head, leaning down so he was eye level with him.
It's a good thing, then, that things aren't up to you. You're more than welcome to try your chances with the main road. In fact, feel free to do whatever you think is best to keep yourself and Dave alive. I just want to also put a finger on...
It's a good thing things aren't up to you, but go ahead and do the thing you just said, is what Sal just said. What?
Yeah. I was just going to comment on that. The other thing that I wanted to comment on is they keep saying, like, give the road a try. Go ahead, give the road a try. The road is there. We could always try the road. But, like, the game says the road blew up and that there's no road left. But also, even when we went back to the road and saw that it was blown up, there was, like, no actual description of, like, how impassable it was. It's always just the road was blown up. That's it. That's all the info we have.
I have no concept for what it could possibly look like that would justify that. All I know is that, speaking as a geologist, but not like some sort of infinite expert of all possible outcomes of shit or whatever, thinking about like sand dunes, for example, geology likes to have certain slopes for support and whatnot. If you just have like a jagged cliff, stuff tends to fall off and form said slopes. Like, it just doesn't work very well. I don't think you blow up a road and now it's just a massive, perfect Silent Hill crater that you can't possibly get around. It's just fucked up boulders and terrain going down for a while, then back up the other side. Akin to like stuff I've literally climbed on going on these trips. But like, yeah, you go out to like Nevada and whatnot, and you have these big hills that you go climbing on. Like a lot of it is like these they're like grueling, but they are slopes that are like at worst like 45 degrees or something of like loose rocks and sand and terrain and boulders and shit, because that's just how stuff tends to sort of rest. And so I don't find it especially likely there's a massive cartoon crater that perfectly cut that thing off. If they wanted that, this game would have benefited from having a bridge, because then you can blow up a bridge. In fact, suggested rewrite, just make it a bridge that's exploded, and now you're like, fuck, there's, unless I can't cast enhanced leap on this one. Like it's a hole. This is just a hole now, going from there to there. There's nothing but like, if it's just but like it's explicitly like a like fucking like Sierra Nevadas looking like roads, like cliff, like mountainside highway, which are the ones where it's like there's a sheer drop on one side and the other side is like the place where all of the rocks are gathering from the cliff as they slowly crumble, and they are up to the edge of the road, and sometimes they even get in the road, and you create a road hazard and so on. Like, and in that situation, I'm just like, I don't know if I just don't think I buy that Jack explosive expert made a perfect impassable hole. But blah blah blah. His voice dropped a little more, and he flashed slightly more teeth.
But the moment you start trying to make decisions for anyone other than yourself again, we're gonna have some problems.
Everyone else, you're making decisions for everyone else in this moment. That's what everyone's always doing when they ever come up with any plan, jackass. With a growl, Tyson headed back inside, slamming the door behind him.
I get that we're all stressed and scared, but you didn't have to go that hard, Sal. Sal hardly went hard there.
Also, Sal solves all of his problems with the violence.
This is true. This is why he makes a great cop.
He has now hit Dean and Tyson and choked Dave in this timeline.
And Dean is his best friend. Also, one of the things that I wanted to say about that is just like, I'd honestly would be refreshing if there was like a fight.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
No, they need, like, as things get more and more frayed and tense, these people do need to actually much more aggressively be getting into fights at some point if they're going to have if they're actually coming into conflict over how bad things are. Otherwise, everyone just stands around and passively goes like, I don't know, there's nothing we can do. We don't have a choice. Nothing to do. Oh, well, nothing, I don't know, man. Dang, we should just keep waiting.
I hate this. It's so frustrating.
It's been a very long exercise in poking it with a stick and saying, do something.
I did. This isn't the time to go antagonizing the situation by being stubborn or taking advantage of those that are struggling to process what's going on.
That's
Actually,
what you did.
it is.
That's what you did.
Exactly. This is precisely the time where the communication would break down and characters would spur each other to act.
I told Toaster that Password is an exercise in edging, because just for dozens and dozens of hours and hundreds of thousands of words, it always suggests something's about to happen in the next scene. Definitely this time. And I believed that when we were going to meet Oswin, but then we just weren't meeting Oswin. We actually were fake meeting Oswin. Time to actually meet Oswin in 2 days when you're allowed to try again after we pad for time more. I believed that when Jack attacked. I believed that when the road exploded. I believed that over and over again. And I'm just Bobo the Fool once again when we're on day 24 now. And like, okay, if this game's divided into 3 acts, then once we hit day 20, that's when things start happening. And we're still standing around. I'm losing my mind. This has become No Nut forever.
No Nut never again, Burr.
No. So fucking stupid.
No offense, Dave.
None taken?
Well, if left unchecked, I feel like Tyson's going to do something drastic, so I'll go keep an eye on him. Sorry, Haas. Might be a good idea, though. Wouldn't have offered if it was going to be that much of a problem. We'll hear from Dean before too long, so it'll be fine.
Then Haas went inside, though left the door open slightly, assuming we were going to be close behind. Leaving the door open is the less unhinged way to say that.
I might check in with Orlando and let him know Dean's gone in, and Tyson is being a menace. How is Tyson being a menace? God, I hate you all. I hate every single one of these characters.
He's just stressed, though. Thanks for stepping in.
It's not an excuse, Dave. Emotions are running high, and I can respect that, but there's no excuse for him to be a controlling bastard.
You're the one who's explicitly out of control over and over again, and then Dave's like, I can fix him. And that's how we're in your route.
What is he fucking talking about?
He's seeing it as like, controlling that he's trying to look out for Dave and planning on how to get the fuck out when this clearly doesn't go well. Like he's very irrationally planning what to do when everything hits the fan, and he's like, he's being controlling, like an abusive boyfriend, which maybe is the route maybe that's his route's like narrative, but that's not in this, so what the fuck are they talking about? He flinched at his own words, quickly looking away.
It's just over the course of this game, I feel like characters have melted.
Yeah. They were oddly, they kind of were more distinct earlier on and became less separate from each other over time.
It's just...
I don't really get Sal's deal. Just overall. Like, I don't get what drives him entirely. It's kind of hard to parse what he's talking about half the time. And it feels like it's just everyone's characters have been broken so that they can justify never doing things.
Yeah.
I don't think they were consciously designed to never do things, but because the plan going forward was for seemingly nothing to happen for such long stretches, they just have to keep verbally justifying their not doing of anything on loop until they cease to exist as whatever they were supposed to be.
Yeah. It's not even character erosion like from conflict. It's just bad. Like it's just the character. It's like he lost track of what these characters were and who they were, and it's also just muddled by the fact that everyone sounds exactly the same, like in the text. That it's just. Sometimes I wonder when he's writing Sal dialogue if he's writing like Haas dialogue or Orlando dialogue, or like there's just absolutely no sense of who these fucking characters are at this point.
Yeah, because sometimes you misread them as each other and don't catch it. And I was like, oh, Toaster's just inverted Sal and Haas for the scene. Look at him go.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's fine. Haas will keep him out of trouble.
All right, you're welcome to come with or talk to Thanatos some more. Or even take a nap. Whatever happens, I'll make sure someone comes and lets you know what's happening. Go ahead, Dave. Fast travel to the end of the day.
Yeah. I better press A and see 3 options pop up. Otherwise, that's really weird dialogue. Go ahead. I just need a moment to think. So he did, going inside much like Haas did, although closing the door quietly behind him. I don't think that those are going to be options. That was... I just don't like that he's being so controlling. Here are your 3 options with which you can proceed. Just very funny writing. Anyway. All right. So I was back to waiting. You'll never guess. To hear from Sal, to know if things were okay. Waiting for Dean to get back. Half waiting for some trouble to happen thanks to Thanatos or Tyson pushing the issue. I'm sorry, I'm incredibly strange punctuation and writing in general in that line where I'm just like, so it was back to waiting, full stop, to hear from Sal to know if things were okay. But then it's like, one, you could just have there be a comma and that's one sentence and that would make perfect sense. But then it becomes a list. To hear from Sal to know if things were okay, waiting for Dean to get back, half waiting for some trouble. So it's like, it became a list that features the word waiting in every instance of the phrase, except the first one, because we're meant to take the waiting from the previous sentence that wasn't in that sentence. And like, I know that it's comprehensible technically, but that's just like extremely strange. Like all the more, like, if anything, you can list the subject or like the action in every part of a thing you're listing to do this repetition thing, but they very specifically carved it out of the sentence at the beginning and separated it, only to then reintroduce it for every other part of the curve. It's just very strange. Like, that just needs to be a comma, or I don't know. That's just, I get the cadence of what that almost is, but that's not right.
Yeah.
It was always waiting. I stood there looking out at the trees for a bit, wondering if by some miracle Dean would be back within the hour. Turns out no. And the only things that happened were the smells in the air shifting as they wafted out from the kitchen. Not even a peep from inside hinting that Tyson had developed into yelling or breaking things, which I only saw as a good thing. The not yelling, I guess, is the good thing. I wandered back inside to try and find Thanatos, to see what he had to say. But when I got to the conservatory, he wasn't there, or at least I didn't see him there. Laying down on one of the sofas, I looked out of the window to the world beyond. Somewhere out there was home. Somewhere out there was Roswell and Dean, plus a number of things I didn't want to know about. As I closed my eyes, I wondered if I should sleep, as Sal offered. It was an option, a lot less of one compared to what the others were doing. Shy of talking to Thanatos, I wondered what else I could even offer. You don't do anything, Dave. It's fine. We get it. I could hear him climbing up the leg of the sofa and lingered just on the edge of my vision. What are you doing?
Checking in. You stopped the argument with Tyson happening.
I don't think we did.
What?
I don't think it seemed like someone else did. Only because you told me that it was going to happen. If you hadn't said anything, we would have argued right there in the foyer. I don't think Dave altered his behavior in a way that actually stopped the argument, though.
I only hope it hasn't changed anything else.
If you're worried about changing stuff, Thanatos, you should stop interacting. That's the result of every time you interact. That's what else do you expect? Is there any way we can find out, or like keep things like how your memory goes? Don't repeat this conversation.
Not unless you want me to knock you out and hope for the best.
Sure. The answer came out of my mouth before I had properly thought over what he'd suggested. Thankfully, he didn't seem to expect the answer. Bizarre response, as if knocking him out would ensure the correct timeline happening, when stopping Dave from existing for the day can also affect the timeline, obviously.
Really? You sure you want me to put you under?
I'm surprised you didn't do it the moment I said yes.
I'm still wondering if it's gonna get us anywhere or not.
Only one way to find out, right?
You've got me there. Happy hunting, Dave.
I was ready for it this time, but I still flinched the moment the sound hit my ears. All at once, the conservatory left my sight, instead replaced by black. I was wondering where I was going to be when I opened my eyes again, the sensation familiar as I started to see again. The first thing I could feel was pain. The first thing I could see was darkness, followed soon by the surrounding woods. I was dazed, if I had to describe it, but the moment I was able, I scrambled to my feet and continued on. Tyson? Dean? Why was I shouting? What about the others in the woods? There was nothing to tell me exactly what had happened, but soon I was running. Every couple of minutes I could stop and yell again, looking around in the darkness, but nothing. It all looked the same. It was all still, and nothing but the sounds of insects were my company. The trees started to lessen. I could have sworn some of the landscape started to look familiar. Not that I could place how or why. It just looked like more trees. Dean? Ty? Without realizing he was standing in front of me, I crashed right into Dominic and stumbled back. I would have fallen if he didn't reach out and grab me by the arm.
Shut up.
But Tyson and Dean.
Yeah, and everyone else too. I get it. All you're gonna do is piss off Memphis.
So, what now?
You forget you saw me? I forget I saw you. Hopefully you find who you're looking for before I find Jack.
Right. Yeah. Okay. He let me go, roughly, and I continued falling backwards to the floor.
Go that way.
In the dark, I could make him pointing out a direction, and he stepped to the side in a different one. His black fur making him disappear near immediately. Had he pointed me towards the house? Something told me he did. I took his direction after dusting myself off. Sure enough, after more running, the house came into view. Who didn't come into view, though, was either of the two I'd been calling out for.
Dave?
I came to a sudden stop, looking Roswell over. Something about this felt off, but I didn't voice why.
Quick, come inside. Something's happened.
The first few steps I took made everything fade to black. Apparently that's all I was allowed to see this time. But what was traumatic? Did something happen to Dean? To Tyson? When I opened my eyes again, I was being shaken awake by Sal. Things were dark, and I couldn't see Thanatos anywhere. What's going on?
Dave, something bad has happened.
Finally. He eased back so I could sit up, and I looked out the window. Night had fallen and my heart sank. Don't tell me.
Dean hasn't come back yet.
But it's dark, he said.
I know. But that's not all.
What happened? Good news or bad? He said
He
bad
just
news.
said bad news,
He just
you
said
fucking
bad
idiot.
news.
What the
Dean
fuck
not
are you
coming
talking
back
about?
isn't a bad thing happening. It's literally the lack of a thing happening.
Bad. Tyson is also missing.
What?
I blame myself for what's happened. Apparently Haas lost track of him for only a little bit, but caught him heading into the woods too.
I stood suddenly, but Sal's big hand stopped me from going anywhere.
Fuck, you read the line too fast right when I took a bite.
What an unnecessary... I will now speak directly to the camera. Here is the roll call, in case you don't understand what's happening, despite it being pretty clear to everyone. I am Sal.
The thing that frustrates me is that Tyson is like, what if we go out into the woods and do the thing? And Sal is like, don't be controlling. If you make decisions for other people, then
But then he grabs us and he probably will stop us from going out, yeah.
But also, just do it if you want to. I won't stop you. So then when Tyson is like, all right, I'm gonna leave, Haas goes inside. He's like, I'm gonna make sure Tyson doesn't leave. And Sal's like, that's a good idea. And then when Tyson leaves, Sal is like, oh no, something bad happened. Like, you fucking idiot. You literally just told him to. Literally 2 screens ago. What the fuck are you talking about?
Sal summarizing the entire roster right now also just has the energy of like, oh, you're having a weird vision? Let me hold up the newspaper with the current date while pointing at the street sign of our current location. It's like, there, now you know exactly what this vision means.
So to summarize, Dean, Tyson, and Roswell are missing out in the woods, leaving myself, Haas, Orlando, and you here.
What do we do?
Given it's now after dark, there's not a whole lot we can do that makes sense. I don't know, or you could just take
Every
flashlights and go look for them.
Every time
You're gonna tell us to
anyone
fucking
says,
sleep again?
anytime anyone ever says, what do we do? They're like, there's nothing we can do. Every time. Every time. It just, and the fact that every character is characterized as, except for Tyson basically, but even sometimes Tyson, they're all characterized as always saying, there's nothing we can do. It is what it is. Just, guess we don't have any options, over and over again.
All right, I'm going to be mean, and I'm going to say that if you think it will be a fun and interesting route to write a B route of your novel where everyone does nothing and the choice to make any action is not a choice and they just decide to wait, just don't write that route.
Yeah.
Just don't do it. You don't need to.
I'm just praying for Route A to be better at this point. I was like, something has to happen in Route A, right? Like, this has to be a weird, like, vestigial accident that this entire route is almost entirely people sitting around and not learning or doing anything. That you can't, that has to be a weird accident from the development, from how it was written in the order it was, and it wasn't fully registered how bad it had gotten or something.
Yeah.
Because people tell stories for a reason. Like, they have a story they want to tell. Like, I hear about, like, this game being full of, like, characters that had, like, existed before Password in other forms and might have even been based on real life people. Like, you do all that when you have, like, a narrative goal and a thing you want to say and stuff. Like, I need to have faith in that. So, like, Route B just has to be some sort of bizarre, massive accident at this point. Like, that's all I can think.
Yeah. Sending more people into the woods just seems insane if I'm being honest. Except it doesn't. You want to know what seems insane? Just doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. You literally have done nothing for 24 days, you stupid fuck. Just do something.
Why would we solve problems when we could not do anything again? And it's the Jack problem too, where it's like, well, you had the chance to search for Roswell in a more organized party during the daylight with a larger group and all of you having keeping track of each other and being safer, but now everything's much worse because you did nothing. Akin to like, oh, you had 9 days to prepare for Jack? Oh no, he's coming in the next hour. We're all caught off guard by having not prepared in any way for Jack because we only had 1 hour. We didn't have time to prepare for Jack. Only 1 hour? Wow. And it's like, you had 9 days. You had 9 days.
Yeah.
But I slumped, clenching my face.
I'm sorry, Dave. The others are downstairs if you want some company, but at this stage, there's not much we can do until morning. We can just skip. We can just skip until morning. That's what he's saying. He's saying just skip the dialogue.
We just keep hitting
just
A.
hold the button down.
Permission. There's nowhere we can hide or go before then?
Hide in case we find ourselves in danger?
Why is he confused by that?
This is the first time I've ever considered this concept.
Yeah, well, we know who's out there, so...
That might be a conversation to have with the others.
Okay, then have it. Now. Right now. Stop. Don't do that as a dismissal. Alright? I think I need a minute.
I understand. You don't understand anything, Sal. You're the dumbest motherfucker in this entire game. Just remember, you're not alone here, and now is a time we need to depend on each other more than ever.
I know.
I'll head downstairs. Come join us when you feel up to it.
He left me, sitting on the sofa, flashing me a small worried smile before closing the door behind him. 3 people now missing. Not even dead, just missing. In a way that was worse, because the unknown added so many more factors to consider. Naturally, I wanted them alive and safe, with me. Why are we explaining? Why do you explain just the most obvious concepts of people being in danger, and like, no, but I don't want danger. Danger's bad. Danger's bad when the danger happens, and I like when my friends are alive, and they're my friends, and they like me, and they're my friends, and they're alive. My brother and 2 dear friends could be alive, dead, or worse, and I just had no way of knowing.
Well, this isn't something I remember.
Thanatos stepped out from under the sofa, scratching his chin.
That doesn't matter, Thanatos, because you've already established that your memories can just conveniently, when the plot necessitates it, disappear. So the fact that you don't remember things doesn't even mean this is a new circumstance for you. It just means that the plot contrived itself into not mattering.
It means Thanatos no longer Thanatos anymore, so he might as well stop talking.
Well, guess we just have to make do, huh?
What do you mean?
The way I see it, we have two options.
I'm not going out into the woods. Oh, this is real.
Yeah.
I didn't know this scene was real until just now. I was like, oh, that's weird. He's having two dreams, and the second dream takes place, but is clearly the setup to the other dream. Like, oh, that's how he ended up. He received that news in this second dream, and that led to the first dream where he's out in the forest looking for Dean and Tyson. Obviously, it's so hard to tell if Dave's awake at given moments that I thought this was just more dreams because that happens all the time.
Let me finish. One option is bad, the other one's worse.
I'm
It's
still
all
not
bad
going into the
options.
woods.
You might want to reconsider that after you hear what the options are.
If you've been in the room the whole time that I've been unconscious, then you heard Sal. The others are in the woods. We're going out. More going out there isn't going to help.
And how are you going to find out what happened to them? Just wait?
It's the safer option. Everything could be fine.
And they could all be already dead, too.
You literally just had a dream about you calling out for Tyson and Dean, and Dom saying you better find them before I found Jack. So I don't think they're doing great, as it turns out, Dave. That was the whole point of the dream. But also, yeah, me commenting on Sal's weird comment and being like, oh, newspaper and street sign. It's because I thought this was a dream. So I was like, it's like, here's how to understand what this dream means right now. I'm performing a roll call to the camera. What do you expect me to do? I'm just me. I can't navigate the woods. I can't track or hunt. The most I have is a flashlight. The extent to which he's incorporating the flashlight into his personality at this point. It's all I had, it's a flashlight.
It's the one thing we know about him. It's from the title screen.
Yeah, there are so many devices and tools around this entire mansion, but the one that is physically in his backpack or whatever is his one belonging, and it's his only tool he can use as a character in, like, The Lost Vikings, where there's the shield one, and the one that runs, and the one with the sword.
Plus a desire for your friends to be returned to you.
And the desire to not die.
Well, that's the choice. Go out there and maybe not die, or stay here and absolutely die.
Waiting. Or we could escape. That's the
But
going
we
out
both know
there
you're too
version.
stubborn to even consider knowing that. Which we both know you're too stubborn to even consider knowing that, as things currently are, Orlando would be stranded here.
We don't know that.
Still, I'm just begging to know why Orlando would be stranded here.
I feel like I need to ask the Discord at this point. Like, why would Orlando be stranded? I don't understand.
Ping them right now.
Did they forget
And
to
then
tell
we'll
us
see.
that
we'll see
Orlando
live.
would have a tracking chip or something? Let's see.
I need to know. I need to know because every single time it comes up, it is baffling to me. It is utterly baffling to me. I do not understand what is going on. Anyway, I'll just continue. That as things currently are, Orlando would be stranded here. You'd basically be telling him to die by doing so.
There we go. I said, does anyone know why Orlando is constantly said to be trapped in the mansion in Route B? If the group tries to escape, everyone seems to agree that on the certain unanimously, including Thanatos. I
Out
said
of
that
nowhere.
in the spoilers chat of the password Discord. I'm not asking like our Patreon supporters or anything. I'm just asking the actual password Discord in the spoilers chat. What the fuck?
Great.
So I'm like, what? Did we miss the part where he's chipped or something and Memphis is coming for him? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't understand.
So there's no good option at all?
I said the options were bad and worse. Going out there is the bad option, so comparatively, it's the good option, though. Yeah, you get it.
What?
He explicitly doesn't get it, Thanatos. Probably be better if you went off without telling the others, too. Otherwise, you'll find yourself likely detained after Tyson pulled his own escape.
Oh, so Sal, don't make any decisions on behalf of people, but Sal will detain you. Cool, Sal.
I'm waiting for the moment where it's revealed that Dave gets out and then the fucking mansion blows up again and it's just the exact same ending as the last ending and we just wasted a fuckload of our time.
Like the question of did Thanatos just trick us into leaving so that he could blow up the mansion again?
Yeah.
I stopped by my bedroom to retrieve my flashlight. Part of me was thankful that Dean hadn't taken it, but the other part of me wondered if he'd have returned if he did. The others I could hear idly chatting in the dining room as I eased towards the back door, quietly opening it and looking out into the night. What was the point of that dream if he's just going to recreate it now? Like he's not even avoiding the traumatic dream that he just had. I stood there wondering just how bad things could be. Was this a trick by Thanatos, or was he just reminding me that the threat of Memphis was still to come? A few steps off the back... You know what would be really cool is if Memphis was established as a threat in the narrative at some point, instead of them just always being certain of it from an off-screen presence of a character we've never seen, ever. A few steps off the back decking onto the grass, I looked back into the lit-up window of the dining room. If I stuck to the shadows, they'd not know I was outside, should someone glance outside. Chances are they'd be doing that while hoping for someone to return. Thanatos at least promised to tell the others what happened to me once they realized I was missing. I just had to focus on being out where the others had gone. Finding out where the others had gone. If it was better than waiting around to be killed, though not by much. I'd underestimated just how much the light of the mansion was lighting things up once I'd passed beyond the tree line. It was dark. I could barely see my hand in front of my face. If it wasn't for the sounds of insects echoing around me, I'd have assumed that I was somewhere deep and dark, like when Thanatos knocked me out. I wanted to call out to the others, but I was worried that I'd attract unnecessary attention, though at some point, that thought must have left me when I turned on my flashlight. I mean, yeah, if you're not going to call out and use a light, you will literally never find people. You cannot find your friends blind in the forest, wandering in random directions without any kind of radius to detect them. Hello? Is anyone out there? No response, and barely any sound beyond what I'd been hearing already. Each footstep I took made me wonder just how far into the darkness I'd come. Sniffing the air, I tried to catch any trace of Roswell, Dean, or Tyson, but got nothing. No earthy scents from Dean, nothing sweet from Roswell, no tingly, spicy ones from Tyson. What a way to describe Tyson. Okay.
It's a character trait. He can smell things.
He's so musky. He's so spicy musky. A sudden
smells like
snap.
Old Spice.
Don't call me out. A sudden snap of a twig echoed off from somewhere far off, and I froze, fumbling with my flashlight for a moment before I turned it off. I could hear myself breathing and tried to breathe quieter. I tried to see deeper into the darkness, but my flashlight had ruined what night vision I had. My fur stood on end, sensing someone nearby. Hello? I clamped my hand over my muzzle the moment I realized I'd spoken, but no response came. A few more moments passed before I decided that maybe I just heard things, or more importantly, that I wasn't going to accomplish anything by just standing there. I just had to turn my flashlight back on and keep moving. Hey, buddy! Big hello, friend. I have no idea how far in we went.
I hope that Dom just claps his hands really hard and just pops Dave's head.
Yeah.
Like I just wanted to.
We're just off to Route A.
Yep. Send me home.
I realized too late what I'd done. I realized moments before it happened that I shouldn't have come out into the woods after all. I was grabbed, muffled, and in the surprise, dropped my flashlight. The crushing strength that had enveloped me made it hard to breathe, and eventually I must have passed out. Or if not passed out, was drained enough that I couldn't register myself being picked up and carried off somewhere. But where specifically, who could say? It's the mill. It's the mill. You've even had a vision of being trapped at the mill before. I mean, at least something's happening. This is this is honestly how the game should be written. Is stuff like this happening all the time. My head was pounding, even unconscious. I could tell that I'd been placed somewhere cold and uncomfortable. I wonder if that was meant to be the same scene again with Dom, but he just acted different because he's such a wild card, or if this was just a totally different scenario and that dream was useless, because he acted wildly differently in the dream. I was certain that some time had passed while I'd been jumped in the woods. While I'd been jumped? Okay. While I'd been unconscious after being jumped in the woods. Whether or not the day had ticked over yet, I didn't know. Don't worry, buddy, we got you covered. I could feel it first. The dirty wooden boards beneath me, and the cold chill of a draft coming in from somewhere nearby. My hands had been tied behind my back, the bindings cut into my skin under my fur. What I could hear was the sound of gruff voices, a muffled crack from an adjoining room maybe, but what hit me was the smell. It was damp, dusty, and spicy in a way I couldn't place. Just the faintest lingering scent of it crossed from the unmistakable one of blood. I sat up immediately and had a good look around the room. Rusty metal hooks hanging from the ceiling, but aside from that, it just looked like a dirty room inside of a wooden shack. Okay. Rude, Dave. Look at this place. It's beautiful. Gonna call this a shack? Though there was one thing in the room that brought some comfort. Ty? I shuffled closer to him, headbutting him lightly to try and wake him up. He was breathing, and groaned after nudging him a few times. What the fuck? Ty, what are you doing here? Where are we? Dave? The fuck are you doing here? I asked first. The moment I spoke, I heard the voices stop, and I backed up against the wall, but nothing happened. No one came to check up on us. Ty seemed to get the idea that we should keep our voices down, looking away from the door to the room back to me. Why didn't you stay at the house? Because you left? You're a fucking idiot. So are you. I'm just glad you're okay. What happened anyway? Got jumped while looking for Dean and Roswell. Well, yeah, but why did you go out there? Dean had it handled. Yeah, real handled with how he got back after the sunset. Maybe something just delayed him. Wasn't gonna risk that. So instead you risked yourself? And you, apparently. Why the fuck didn't you stay at the house? Because I was worried about you. You shouldn't have run off. Well, we're fucked now. Who knows what's gonna happen? How long have you been here? No clue. You only just get here too? Woke up more like. Do you know why we have our hands tied? Because you've been captured, Dave, by the bad guys. Why are our hands tied? No, but show me your hands. Could probably bite through what they have you caught up with. Is that a good idea? Shouldn't we sit tight and not do anything wrong just in case they get mad? We should go back to my usual default of never doing things. Dave, I swear to God, turn around so I can free you. He headbutted me on the shoulder to insist that on me turning around and started biting at whatever it was that had me restrained. I thought you'd have an easy time biting through things, Ty. Some sort of thick plastic, like a zip tie, but heavy duty. I heard the snap and my hands were free. Ty quickly shifting around so I could do the same. Hurry up, let's get out of here. He was right, it looked like some kind of zip tie, but way thicker. It almost seemed like overkill to use on us, but on someone like Sal, it could probably understand the need. Ow! I rubbed my tooth as I pulled away, the plastic snapping and freeing Ty. I think I chipped my tooth. Well, we'll get it looked at when we're out of here. He grabbed me quickly by the shoulders and hugged me close. It was closer to a squeeze, but it made me feel better, if only a little. You remember anything that might be useful? Anything that could get us back? No? We both froze when we heard footsteps coming out my way. Coming out way? Pretending that we both still had our hands tied. We both froze when we heard footsteps coming out way, pretending that we both still had our hands tied. Huh. Okay, I get the idea. Oh, great. They're awake.
If they keep quiet, we don't need to worry about nothing.
Sure we can't rough them up a little? For fun?
Best leave them alone. Don't want to go upsetting the boss.
Killjoy. Hey.
What?
You gonna let us go if we play nice?
Not up to me.
It's up to the boss. Though after what your friend did, I don't think he'd be too keen on just letting people go. Our friend? Which one? You know which one. No, I don't know if I had no idea if this is Roswell or Dean
have no
or Benson.
idea.
It could be Benson. Did Benson like break out and start swinging? Like, if I knew, do you think we'd ask? Dom pulled Jack backwards by the shoulder when we went to make a go for Tyson, directing him back towards the door.
You two just sit tight. Boss will be back soon.
With Jack complaining, Dom guided him out the door and they disappeared. I could hear them talking, if muffled, as they walked away, leaving the two of us alone again. So, one of them did something? Reckon it was Roswell or Dean? Or Benson? Does it matter? We still don't know where either of them are. Well, I don't want to stick around and find out what happens when their boss comes back. If they had us tied up, it wasn't going to be good. They might have just wanted us out of the way, but having met Memphis before, yeah. Dave has met Memphis? You just casually have met a mafia boss who wants to maybe kill your friend who's his son? Where does this even come up? How does this happen? Ready to make a break for it? How? Just rush out of the room and hope they don't catch us? Yes? Jack can outrun me. He'd probably outrun the both of us. Plus he'd have Dom help him. Shit, so we're sneaking out. Out of the room? A window? Not as if I have the option here. What an unnecessary use of the ever-present, we don't have another option. I guess we have no other option but to take a window. What an extreme, and sneaking out of a room. He gestured towards where there would have been a window if it wasn't boarded up. Oh, there's no window. I get it. Okay, that makes sense, except for the part where the background has windows, which... So far, this background contradicts every single description of this room. So maybe delete it. It's supposed to be a shack with no windows, or windows that are boarded up, and it's a beautiful, ornate, perfect, beautiful little space that I would like to live in, please. Except for the echo would ruin my life and my job. We're not getting through that without making a bunch of noise or tools anyway. So then how? Next time it quiets down, let's sneak out. They have to sleep at some point. Sneak out the door they're locked in, I guess. And if they sleep in shifts or hear us? You have any better ideas? I mean, it's worth a shot, Tyson, but I would be pretty impressed if they didn't lock or block the door in any way. He huffed, tugging at his fur. They are idiots, though. Look, if it comes to it, I'll distract them so they can get away, right? It was my dumb move coming out here alone anyway. It was mine to follow you. We're going out together. I'm not going to talk you out of that, huh? Nope. But obviously, we need to be careful. You didn't happen to pick up a weapon or anything, did you? Yeah, sure, just happened to stash one while I was tied up and left unconscious. Oh, good. Dave! Hey, can't blame me for being hopeful. I must have dropped my flashlight out in the woods, so I don't even have that anymore. Given how everyone's depressed and grim all the time, I'm just really caught off off guard by like the Aaron Hansen comedy writing. Like, and I mean that very explicitly. Like, I have read Aaron Hansen's book, and it sounds like that dialogue, which is like a riff on wacky Scooby-Doo adventures. Like, I'm not ready for how silly this dialogue is being given the stakes. And the literal smell of blood in the room, which we have not verified the source of yet. Don't think it'd do much anyway. Might blind one of them, but you'd probably just break it trying to hit one of them with it. Not if it's a mag light. You gotta come prepared. I sat back against the wall and Ty followed suit, leaning against me. No joke, growing up, I was given the moment I had a car, I was given like a foot-long mag light to use for obvious, more utility reasons, but also I was instructed specifically, this is a weapon. The intent is that you can use this as a weapon. It's a big, heavy metal flashlight. That was half the reason I was gifted a mag light to keep in my car. Do you think the others are okay? Probably. Even Dean and Roswell? I guess. Not really reassuring, Ty. What do you want me to say? That everything's fine? I mean, yeah, I want ice cream. And if it's a lie? Well, you might have a point. He took my hand, making me flinch, but I quickly looked at him. Hey. What? I know I'm, like, not perfect, right? Yeah, that doesn't bother me. Why? Because you're my brother, your family. You made me worry going to the forest by yourself, especially after the others did, but what? You wouldn't be you. You wouldn't be you any different. What? I know what they mean, but what? That's... He scoffed, shaking his head slightly, but I continued to do all the same. Just...
I think it's interesting that he used the negative there when he could have just said, you would have been you just the same.
I think they're trying to say you wouldn't be you, as in, if you hadn't acted that way, then you wouldn't be Tyson. But
yeah,
it's just the actual sentence is a nightmare to read, where I'm like, you wouldn't be you all the same. I'm like, unless that's local slang, I don't know what, that's just not how you say that thought. I get the thought,
yeah.
But just sometimes I wish I understood you better. But other times, I like not knowing you entirely. Though it'd be nicer if I could tell when you were going to actually go and do something dumb so I didn't worry so much. Hey, I'm not that bad, am I? You're up and down, kinda. Meaning? The thing I just said, said the last paragraph. I'm used to you getting excited suddenly or over fried chicken or pumpkin bread. But then also being broody and annoying when something's bothering you, but without talking about why.
My cat literally just jumped directly on top of my chair, and I had to fight it from the ground. It's like 4 feet up into the air, and I don't know if anyone heard it, but
yeah.
I literally had to like unvelcro him from the top of my chair and put him on the ground. What a little menace. Sorry.
I know you mentioned
toaster cat facts.
I know you mentioned not wanting to unpack the part where Orlando is apparently Japanese, which means he's a dragon and his family cares about honor and other things that came up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I want to unpack why Tyson is the character that wears basketball shorts and comes from a poor abusive family and gets really excited about fried chicken.
Oh no.
That's not, that combination doesn't add up well, actually. I'm not psyched.
I didn't think about that.
Those things that I've realized. I'm like,
okay.
At least he said pumpkin bread.
Yeah, now it's weird. Now there's a lot of weird stuff going on in my head that I'm not liking.
No, I don't. I'm
not liking any of this.
That Katamari is going to grow a bit over the next few dozen hours, isn't it? I'm going to...
Cops are good. They're different in Australia, Grizz says, as Sal threatens to destroy Tyson's life.
They're just...
not great optics there, bud.
I'm unpacking this, and
I don't like any of this.
No.
I don't like any of this. There's not a single part of this that I like. I want to be out.
I don't think I get what you're trying to say. I'm just saying that, as it is, you're my brother. As you are. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Even if you make some really dumb decisions sometimes. He hugged me, roughly, though once he had his arms around me, he settled, letting me return the favor. There was a comfort having him this close, but both of us had our ears trained and our voices elsewhere, waiting for them to die down. Time continued to pass with us in that room. It was hard to say how long, but eventually the voices stopped. We heard the door open and close, but that's about it. I didn't dare move, but Tyson was the first to decide enough was enough. He peeled away and crept towards the door, placing his ear against it to try and get a feel for what was happening. Then, presumably, having heard nothing, he cracked the door open slightly and peeked into whatever was on the other side. Anything? He quickly held his hand up, without looking my way, eyes locked to the other side of the door. Come quietly. Next episode. Okay, so I've gotten a response from one person at least, and someone's like, "Yeah, it's because he's out of shape. That's why Orlando can't do the mountain." So we don't seem to be missing anything. It really is just like, but Orlando's fat. He can't
there's literally
hike. That's impossible.
So literally the entire plan that we risked everything on to get off the mountain was just a non-starter from the start. Period. Because Orlando's always going to be left behind.
At the very least, there's some sort of magic way that everyone can get across the road except Orlando because he's fat. That's the line. Like, it's that close to human possibilities that they're so convinced everyone can do it except Orlando because he's fat.
Again, completely sight unseen because they don't actually know.
They don't check or test
like.
or try, or even most of them haven't even seen it, I don't think.
Okay, but also, here's the thing. They know Orlando is out of shape, right? And their choices are get off the mountain and live, stay on the mountain and die. But if we decide to get off the mountain and live, they're like, well, you would leave Orlando behind? We can't do that.
But
so
also,
once again, stay on the mountain or die, or leave and one person dies. Either way, you die. Do they want us to just stay on the mountain and die? They've acknowledged that.
They're selectively capable of this math. That's like that, yeah.
Sure,
of sacrificing
but the thing
people.
that's
they just randomly drop it periodically. And like, no, but we can't.
But the thing that's even more insane is they're like, you can't do that. We can't just leave Orlando behind, Dave. Anyway, we're gonna leave Orlando behind. Is everyone ready for the plan to happen? I want ice cream. I'm going to eat the ice cream. You can't eat the ice cream, but I'm going to eat the ice cream. There's no ice cream, but I'm going to eat ice cream. That's my whole dinner. I hate this. The logic here, it's not people, like, this is not characters not making sense because they're losing their minds and making bad decisions. This is the writing not making sense because it doesn't make sense as writing. It's not good writing.
For me, I just can't help but think that, like, you know, as a sedentary fat gamer boy, or as furries call daddy, I can rock climb and hike. I do both these things. I don't have the same endurance at rock climbing as people that actually do it all day, every day, and so on. I can't keep up with the fucking Riker, but like, I can rock climb. I've done it before. And, and I go on hiking trips, and yeah, what happens is that the hiking group gets split into two groups immediately. There's the group that is all the people that are just genetically skinny all the time, and they just fucking power through, and the other half of the group is noticeably way behind them because they're actually having to have weight to carry on this trip. But you can just hike. So there's just not a lot of, it's just a wild line to draw so certainly, especially when the hiking through the woods version is like them not even being pursued, supposedly.
So this story, here's my issue. This story is ostensibly a story about tenacity and perseverance. Literally, the entire metaphysics of this game's plot are If you fail, keep trying, keep failing and failing until you succeed. That is this narrative. That's the whole point of the loop. That's literally how all time travel, all multiple worlds, all Miracle Clock Hero stories are. If you fail, 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 keep getting up and fail again until you get up and you don't fail. So it makes sense that when characters are backed up against a wall, they would persevere through their personal hurdles. So it is utterly just insane that they would be like, yeah, Orlando's going to stay here and get murdered by his evil dad. We can go down the mountain and it will be hard because he's out of shape and he might hurt himself. He might break all of the bones in his body, but at least he'll get out if he perseveres, if he does the hard thing. But then now let's leave him behind. Why he can't do it?
I'm endlessly confused by their inability to try anything.
It's because they're not characters.
Are you
These
fuckers scared or not? Like, run.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're running.
I think it's, I don't know. It's thematically void. That's all I'm saying. This story is thematically void. There's no principle to any of its thematics, and it's very frustrating.
Come quietly. He held his hand up without looking my way. Eyes locked to the other side of the door. Oh, I must have pressed backwards slightly. Shuffling over my hands and knees, I stopped next to him, looking expectantly. He eased the door open more, and I saw that it had opened up into a small hallway, a room directly across from us with the door open. Tyson stuck his head out, peering down the hallway before slipping out to the other room, gesturing for me to follow. Not knowing what to be looking out for, I took his lead and snuck across. It appeared to be a makeshift bedroom. What beds were there seemed rickety and hardly high quality, but showed signs of use. More notably, it was a window that Tyson had made a beeline for, and cracked it open, looking back at me. Come on. Ty? I'd gone through the window first, dropping down onto the soft ground below. Not that it was a drop, given we were on that level already, but Tyson hadn't followed. Backing up a little, I tried to catch sight of him still inside the room without standing up properly, just in case someone had caught him. Then he quickly hopped out of the window and took me by the hand, guiding me away until we were behind a few layers of trees. Gotta be careful in case we run into anyone out here again, so I grabbed a weapon. What weapon? He flashed the knife that he had tucked away in his waistband, taking it out to hold it in his free hand. You could have just carried that in your mouth, or literally anywhere that wouldn't have possibly hurt you. This is... Dave, shut up. Shut the fuck up. One, you could just put something in your waistband. It's fine. That's not how blades work. You don't, like... Most of the time, you're not... there's so many... Just unnecessary. Just someone else. I didn't cut myself. It's fine. Besides, I had to grab something else. What? He let go of my hand, reached into his pocket, and pulled out something that looked vaguely familiar. I couldn't place it at first, but then it clicked. What didn't make sense was why. Is that... half of one of the medals? Why? Why? Why does anyone care about the scavenger hunt? They don't have a reason in universe. Tyson's not going to get paid. That's not... You're not going to find all the medals, man. Seemed like it. That's why I grabbed it. But why? I found the other half already? When? Doesn't matter. At least not now, anyway. Well, great, I guess. Why'd you bother grabbing it, though? Doesn't make sense to me. Why would half a medal wind up here? It was some dumb game that Benson got us into, so why is one of the medals out here? You think he set this up? Got the Mafia to show up and gave them a medal?
What?
I don't know, but something's up. But first, we have to get back. My eyes were still on the knife in his hand, and then I realized why it looked familiar. That's Jack's. Probably. We should get out of here before he notices it's missing, then. We set off carefully, first at a fast walk, then once the light of the cabin was behind us, we started to run. Every now and again, stopping only to catch our breath and listen for anyone out in the woods with us. Memphis was unaccounted for. Cool, yeah, because we've never seen him ever. And there was no telling if Dom or Jack had left the cabin in search of us. not to mention Dean or Roswell. Our eyes had adjusted to the dark, and the moment I started to hear water, I tapped Ty on the shoulder, and we headed off towards the only landmark we could navigate towards in the dark. In the dark, in the dark, the dark, in the dark. As the river came into view, so did something else. I grabbed Ty to pull him back just in case. What is it? This is the place, Ty. This is the place where I ran into Jack. Well, it's not the house, so let's get going. As we turned to lean, I noticed movement near the entrance to the mill and ducked out of sight, Tyson doing the same. He urged me quietly to follow, but I started watching, and was glad I did. Wait, look. The moment we spotted him, Tyson stepped out of cover. I was surprised that he was so readily willing to stop hiding, but he marched right up to Dean as if it was nothing. Though I didn't expect Tyson to punch Dean in the gut. Everyone was just hitting Dean. It didn't seem like his head was in it, his heart was in it, but it still looked like it would have hurt somewhat. What was that for? More importantly, what are you doing out here? I stepped out enough so I could make my presence known, drawing a groan out from Dean. What was the point of me heading in if you were going to follow me anyway? You never came back. You said at sundown. That's true. Not to mention we have no fucking clue how to get off this mountain otherwise, so we would have just been left waiting for Roswell to get back if you didn't. Which he didn't. No Roswell either, huh? You expected him to be back by now? I've been out searching and haven't seen him. Haven't seen anyone aside from you two. No one at all? Great. We both head out and get snatched, and Dean has a nice stroll by himself. What do you mean, snatched? We just escaped from a cabin where we've been tied up. I got grabbed by, I'd assume Dom. Tyson too, probably? Yeah, no way that rabbit would be able to pin me like that. Ooh-whoa. Roswell wasn't there either? Nope. So, either dead or somehow missed all the excitement like you did. Not necessarily. Our friend did something, so it's narrowed down to either Roswell or Benson. And it's probably Roswell because the narrative excluded Benson from the list, which means that's probably telling. Well, I'm glad you're both all right. Why were you in the mill anyway? I was looking. In the quiet of the night, we heard something echo from inside the mill. Dean looked over his shoulder before Tyson grabbed him by the shirt and made a break back for the trees to hide. We just waited, watching the entrance just in case, occasionally shooting back either worried looks as if to check if it was safe again. Just as we thought it'd be safe to talk, another sound would come up and we'd clam up. Minutes passed, and right as Tyson was about to crack, we saw movement. Oh my god, it's him! The Trilby himself. Stepping out from the entrance was a tall dragon, taller than Sal even, though he was familiar to me. I'd been in his presence before at Orlando's house. Did he say it was coming from the mill? An echo from inside the mill. So Dean was at the mill and Memphis was inside the mill, and they just hadn't encountered each other through an insane happenstance. Huh. Posing. With him, he seemed to have a box or something. Whatever it was seemed heavy, though it didn't stop him from precariously balancing his gun on top. We could hear him mumbling about something as he wandered off through the trees, likely towards the cabin. Once we stopped hearing him, though, we looked to one another unsure. Orlando's dad. That fucker's huge. And armed. Plus, whatever was in that box isn't going to be good. It's not going to just be food or something? How heavy that looked? What could possibly be in there if it's not food? Nothing good, that's for sure. Oh, fuck. What? You said they had you tied up, right? Yeah. What's gonna happen when they notice you're missing? Oh, fuck. You think they'd go back to the house? You want to take that risk? Have to let Haas know. And Sal, I guess. Poor Orlando. Sorry, Orlando, you just have to die. We're all so sure of this for some reason. Sure, him too. Point is, we need to move. Now. We set off quickly. Dean led the way with Tyson close behind and me tailing behind. So much so that Tyson kept looking over his shoulder to make sure I was close behind. And if I wasn't, he'd stop and grab me and drag me forward, so I kept pace. I stopped registering just how cold it was in an effort to get back to the house faster. What? That's not thinking about the temperature doesn't make you faster? It's like skating on speed lines. I'm wondering if we'd know when our absence was discovered. Between our heavy breathing and the occasional comment that we'd need to keep going, no words were shared. It wasn't a run so much as a jog, but for the middle of the night, with nearly no sleep, it was taking its toll. Wait, I need a breather. Alright, couple of minutes, but then we really need to keep going. I can go ahead. You two rest up, but the wrong two. No, we're sticking together. Last thing we need is you getting ambushed out there, again. Oh, so now the plan we had we discussed for 3 days was bad. Tyson growled, but left it at that. Dean was right, though my mind was elsewhere. How could Roswell still be unaccounted for? You don't think he died, right? Like, killed, or either? Did we just assume he's dead? I don't want to assume that. You might have to. A bit rough, but I think I agree. You can't risk sticking around to see if we can get off the mountain safely. None of it matters unless we get back to the house and get out of here. Can't be worrying about him if we're dead. I mean, honestly, Tyson's got the right idea. He's the fastest. He's probably the fastest and most fit of this group, and because Dean is huge and Dave sucks, he probably should go get everybody and come back to us instead of him having to wait for us and then just have to probably come back this way anyway. Dean nodded and they both looked at me, already looking to get going again. All right, fine, just okay, let's go. Unless they're going for the road, I guess, despite saying 100 times they can't. We continued on, though this time we followed the river down. Dean was the first one to suggest we start heading further in rather than risk being further away just by following the river all the way downstream. Tyson at this point had stopped checking in on me keeping up, though I'd made the effort not to fall behind. We were close. I just had to stay awake and keep moving long enough that we could get to safety. Or at the very least, back to the house. Hey! Dean bellowed into the foyer the moment we got inside, though was quickly jabbed in the ribs by Tyson. I stuck my head into the dining room to see if anyone was around, and almost jumped when I heard voices behind me. You're back! Orlando's eyes fell on me, and I could see his expression shift immediately to disappointment. Dave, you have some explaining to do. I went out to find Tyson. Well, that's the fastest explanation in the history of this game.
Which you did, though you had the three of us worrying.
3? So I take it Roswell still hasn't come back. No, not yet. He's not with you either? Nope. I only just ran into Tyson and Dave out there. Plus your dad, apparently.
Before I get into explaining why you not coming back when you said you would was another cause for concern, you ran into Memphis.
Sal, no one needs that explanation. We all understand the basics of the scenario. Jesus Christ. Not exactly, but he was just coming out of the watermill. Watermill? The place where I ran into Jack. No, I get that, but why was he there? Mostly just thankful that I didn't run into him when I was checking the place out.
I'm sorry.
What are you sorry for?
Dave, did Dean say what I think he just said?
That he was checking the place out? That's when Tyson and I found him anyway, just walking out there as if it was nothing. Why were you in there? The sun had already set, so you should have been well back, and well and truly before then. Obviously he was committing to finding Roswell. I was looking for Roswell.
You should have stopped searching by then.
I only just found it. It was worth checking. I swear, the next thing I'm gonna hear is that you're working for my dad or literally anyone in my family.
Oh my god.
What if that was the fucking twist? That would be frustrating because it doesn't make any sense, but I'm not. I am sussy on how the fuck they were in the same space and didn't encounter each other.
Real quick, just to stop this from becoming a witch hunt, he's telling the truth.
I'm magic. No offense to Dean, or full offense, because I don't really care. He's not smart enough to hide that from us for this long. Thanks, I guess. But why didn't you come back when the sun was setting like you'd said you would? Like, yeah, searching for Roswell, but I thought we decided that you'd call off the search. Obviously, he wants to find Roswell. It's not that deep. You're right. I did intend on coming back, but I thought I saw Benson.
Well, yeah, of course you did. If you went to the place where you sent Benson, it makes sense that you would see Benson.
Well, because we didn't, because we until now we were operating on the assumption that they were at. Until now we were operating under the assumption that they went to the mill because it's the only location we've had, but apparently they have a separate house, and Dean was not the person that was sent with them. Roswell was sent with them, and he never found Roswell.
I understand that. I'm just saying if he thinks he sees Benson, it makes sense. It makes sense that he would see Benson wandering through the woods if there's an indeterminate location, or at least a chance of an indeterminate location, where Benson would be, which is where you sent him. It's not that weird.
Well, he didn't say it was weird. It's just he's saying that's why he was still out there, is he's trying to find Benson because he thought he saw him. But him seeing Benson is weird because he's supposed to be a hostage. So Benson's definitely the friend who did stuff, which makes sense because he woke up in their charge without agreeing to even be there. But it does make me wonder if Memphis has Benson's head in that box, or something.
Possibly.
Or something from Benson and
Roswell's head.
Yeah.
Benson? Doesn't make any sense. When we saw him leave, he was unconscious.
And
Wasn't
no one
that
ever
literally like a
stops
day
being
ago?
unconscious. It's been like 12 hours. But people sleep forever. I don't know what it was I saw, but that's what it seemed like. Couldn't find him afterwards, though. Now that you mention it, Benson wasn't where Dave and I were holed up either. They also said that our friend had done something, so Roswell did something to save Benson, maybe?
But what?
They keep saying Roswell. Dave, these guys would also call Benson, quote unquote, your friend. I don't know if it's so weird that they don't get that. Maybe he cut a deal. What kind of deal? Jack seemed annoyed about whatever it was he did. Fucking homos. What? What? What?
I don't get it.
What? What?
I don't understand.
What am I supposed to take from that? Is Tyson homophobic and we're finding this out in episode 90 of the playthrough? Is Jack gay? What is the...
Are they supposed to be backwoods lovers? Is that what we're supposed to take from that?
How did those words... What are those words? Why are those words? I don't know. I've never been more caught off guard by anything in this game, I think. What the fuck? Tyson! You're an implied love interest for the male protagonist, so... Whoa! In fact, once again, I'll remind you... We joked that we couldn't tell if... When Haas said he was bi, we couldn't tell if he was admitting to liking guys or girls because this game is so homoerotic or implied to be full of gay people that... We didn't know what this is the first homophobia in the entire game. It's coming from Tyson, the implied love interest of the game. I don't know. What? Tyson, I'm right here. The only homo in this room. No one else in this room is homo. Definitely not
He should have
every
said,
person
Tyson,
in this
you're
room.
right here.
Isn't everyone in this room gay? This is just...
Look, now's not the time to pack if Dom and Jack are roommates or whatever.
I just was so unmotivated by anything we've seen about those characters to begin with. Is it something we can use potentially? Their working relationship? The text has not implied that they are gay at all.
No, it has not
What
implied
the
that
fuck
they're
are you
in any sort
talking
of
about?
backwoods relationship. No.
What?
This is completely unearned. This is just bad character writing.
And now they think they can use that against them by revealing they're gay to Memphis because Memphis is homophobic? Is that why he hates Roswell? I mean, Orlando is because Memphis is homophobic and Orlando's gay? Is that the basis of their frayed relationship? Does homophobia exist in this setting? You really need to establish that before episode 90
It needs to be a
of
character
our
trait.
playthrough. Like,
It needs to be a character trait of Tyson's before 5 days before the end of the total runtime of the game.
Tyson just introduced homophobia into the setting at the end of the game, and now we're going to use it as a weapon against the bad guys because one of them's homophobic. Like, it's like the author just thought of the concept of homophobia for the first time in the story.
I'm not going to
full
read
of gay
into
people.
Memphis being homophobic because I don't know if we have anything to really put that together fully, but like just from a writing perspective, like it's as you said, like Tyson is basically a love interest in this game. You can't just like introduce homophobia from his part and be like, this is just a character trait that he's always been sitting on that could have come up, you know, as part of one of the reasons why the whole group doesn't trust him. It could literally just, you need to set that up. If that's a reason why there could be strife in the group, you can't just drop that 90 episodes into the playthrough. Like, what are you doing? What is that?
It seems like an important character trait for him to have, but also like, if you have a problem where everyone hates Roswell and likes Tyson too much, I feel like I found your solution.
It's just bizarre.
Have him be homophobic. Also, I don't like adding homophobic to the bullet list that I was forming on Tyson for other reasons. But anyway,
Yep.
That's how their boss takes it.
Discussion. Which, from what I've managed to gather so far, not well.
We just know Memphis is homophobic, and this has never mattered before, and ever come up. Like, how does everyone know? Everyone knows Memphis so well, and we've never met him. We don't even get flashbacks to scenes of them knowing each other in the past to establish any of this. Like, just something. Like, you can have flashbacks. You're allowed. Like, who the fuck is Memphis? He's homophobic, and now we're just...
Do we know that?
With no setup establishing that Dom and Jack might be gay, and we might use this against them? I don't know. I don't know if we know that. I'm just saying that this conversation existing, like, the way that this writer works out sometimes is that the way that this conversation even... The fact that this conversation's happening implies that this means something, and they're onto something here. And I'm like, you're gonna use homophobia to save the day? That's where this is going?
The politics of this game are troubling. Is the best of circumstances.
Is that why Orlando is exiled? Because he's the gay son? Because that feels like what they're implying now, and that has somehow never come up before. But for now, we have no idea what to do, what happened with Roswell or Benson, and that we're back to where we started before everyone started going into the woods. I said I was sorry for that. Not for the homophobia, though. You literally didn't. Okay, well, if you two were discovered missing, chances are you will be soon if they haven't already. We should be ready. What are you saying? That we should prepare? Yeah, that's... What are you, a thesaurus?
I'm rested enough. I'll take first shift.
No, Sal.
Wasn't that the thing that you were already doing?
Yeah, I think so. But also, what? Fuck you, Sal. You guys are not standing watch, unprepared, with no weapons and fewer people than ever to just fucking face them. Leave.
What are they gonna do? They're not gonna
Leave.
face them. They're just gonna let them come in because they're idiots.
Yeah, but they don't have a surrender plan either to hopefully bargain for survival. Like, leave. You have to make it work. You have to run. Like, that's obviously that's so obvious. I don't. How is your first response to just stay in the place they know you are? Literally, you would literally buy more time by going to the mill, because at least that's not where he currently is, and not where he's gonna go next.
Fuck.
I caught him. He took a bite.
My salad just got here.
And Toaster's been on a not talking vacation because I've been voicing every character.
I was really banking on that being an Orlando
Yeah.
line.
Check out how fast the scene goes when it's just Dean and Tyson and Dave talking. Look how fast I can go.
I got baited by the fact that it was one of those text box pauses and not an actual line of dialogue.
Ones. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. You're probably exhausted from being out in the woods for so long, Dean.
Admittedly, yeah, kinda am. So go take a nap. We're not in a hurry.
I'll keep a lookout in case they come by. It'd be best if we could have multiple people awake, but sleep is important.
I hate these people. Okay, so I banked on them being smarter, which was my bad, but that's the whole premise of me being...
they're all idiots.
I know, I've always known, but like me, the whole point of me being like, Tyson should run ahead, they should actually do that, was that obviously Tyson should run ahead and get the group and come back to the mill, and they should continue to try to leave via the forest, because obviously they can't just decide to hang out in the mansion and all get massacred. Why would they do that? That's insane. Now they're doing that. Also, Orlando's Japanese and just wears the wave, which I can accept more when he's a weeb, but now it's just he's wearing the wave, what is the most famous Japanese piece of art. He's just wearing it because he's Japanese. It's it's like how the American character in Japanese things will have like American flag pants and an American flag bandana.
The Yu-Gi-Oh character everyone's thinking of right now.
Yes, that guy. Fuck, isn't his name Keith? Bandit Keith. That's his name. I think his name's Bandit Keith, which is its own strange name.
In Japanese name order, it's Ballard Keith. It's a very slight tweak to the translation.
That'd be really fucking funny. Anyone wanting to volunteer?
Sometimes.
Hoss, I'm preemptively telling you to shut it, but should something go wrong, I can yell pretty loud. What? It's more of a shriek, but yeah, that makes sense. What? Because he's gonna be an alarm? Multiple people awake?
I think he's saying like,
I guess
don't make fun of me for being a scared weenie baby.
Yeah, I guess they're just saying they've heard him. I remember when you played Amnesia on stream. Yeah, you screamed really loud. Dave! I'll stay up too. With some coffee, I'll be good to go. It means we can have eyes both out the front and the back.
All right, we'll do that. Anyone not on watch should get a nap in if they can, or just rest their eyes just in case. The last thing we want is to be running while exhausted. Adrenaline can only do so much.
I just can't stress enough that keeping watch only works when you're gonna do something when you see someone, and they have nothing to do. So I hate these people. I hate them so much. I doubt I'm going to be sleeping, but alright. I'll go sit in a side room and rest my eyes after I've kept watch a little bit. I'm too jittery to rest right now, now that you're back. Sounds like a plan. That's a choice word for now. I watched as my friends started to peel away. Haas and Tyson, Orlando and Dean, Sal flashing me a quick smile before— why would you smile right now? Before heading towards the back door. As much as I appreciated the smile, I could see the worry the moment the smile faded. Now that I was blind to how others were— not that I was blind to how others were disappointed that I'd headed into the woods. I could see it on their faces. I think I got a pass, if a small one, because we'd all returned safely. With the exception of Roswell, at least. I watched as the coffee started to brew. and then taking the mug in my hands, I drank deep. All things considered, I wasn't feeling too bad, although it was likely from Thanatos knocking me out. Did it even count as sleep? Did getting jumped in the woods and being knocked out count as sleep? Sure, as well didn't feel like it as much as I was awake. I stepped outside to join Orlando in keeping watch. What? He was gonna lay down in a side room. He just said that. Right? I definitely just read that he was gonna go lay down in a side room and give it a go. Well,
It slides right off me. I got nothing, man. Every single time someone says they're gonna do something, they do something else. Because there's no such thing as continuity in this story.
I stepped outside to join Orlando in keeping watch, sitting down next to him on the steps. Got your coffee? Yep, got your, You really shouldn't have gone out there, you know. You had us worried. I couldn't have left Tyson and Dean and Roswell stay out there. Just missing words. Could have gotten hurt. You did get hurt. No hurt. No hurt. No hurt. Please, no hurt. Toes. Just grab. What the fuck is it? I guess grab and unconscious, but you... Why is he talking like this? Is this a bit? He doesn't talk... This isn't a thing they do. This is... No hurt, just grab. And I guess grab and unconscious, but you know, otherwise fine. Dave, that's not exactly fine. When I woke up, I'd just been tied up. Same with Tyson, but no stabbing or being shot or anything. Well, I guess Dominic does like his job to be easy, which is why he kept you alive? And killing us would have made things harder? I don't really want to get into it, but yeah, it would have. They're referred to as cleaners. Ah. Huh. Dad hates dealing with them and doesn't mind things getting messy, but Dominic likes keeping things easy and simple. Then that's probably something they agree on. How does taking us prisoner keep things simple? I mean, I'm glad they didn't. But they could have just killed us and left us out in the woods. Well, if I had to guess, either Dad had some plan, or this was spearheaded by Dominic. Meaning? I mean, there might be some compassion we could appeal to if we get him alone. Even after what he said, when he was here at last. What about Jack?
I wouldn't worry about Jack.
Thanatos wandered out from the front door, stopping beside Orlando and then scrambling up onto his lap. Get off my leg.
No.
You're gonna get thrown. With a single motion, Orlando flicked him off, although it looked closer to Thanatos barely managing to dodge out of the way. Regardless, he made his way over to me to sit on my lap instead.
Dave, if you push me off, we're gonna have problems.
I don't have emotions, but I do love to snuggle. What do you want, Thanatos?
I was just wanting to contribute to Night Watch.
Contribute how?
Guess maybe he can knock someone out. We'll just have characters redundantly do the same thing so that we can stick them all in a scene together.
Yeah.
See, I can't do what I had in mind with you both out here.
I feel like Thanatos would be better at his job if this mansion had a camera system, so he could just know what's happening. And what did you have in mind?
I need to borrow Orlando for a bit, actually.
That's not what I was expecting. Neither. Just neither. But I'm not going anywhere.
Doesn't matter if we leave and Dave stays here or if Dave heads inside for a couple minutes.
Only a couple minutes? What could it possibly be? What do you think, Orlando? Should we let him go, or... Hell no.
This is just an exercise in futility. I already know how this is gonna play out. How do you know how this is gonna play out? You said you forgot fucking everything. You said this. You have no new information.
I guess we're back at the part where he
25
knows
minutes ago.
stuff. Really?
Of course. Like, I didn't know you were going to go into the woods anyway and come back safe and sound. Otherwise, why would I have let you go? You literally, in that conversation, said you're in uncharted territory and didn't know what came next. That's not me making it up. He explicitly said that.
It's mixed. It's like both he does know and doesn't know. Because he knows that because he's seen a later scene where Roswell returns, so he sees. So the future's not completely empty, but it's like a mix of missing things and present things.
Sure, but at that moment, when Dave was literally talking about what to do right before he left, Thanatos said, "It beats me. I don't really know what's going on here. I have no information to be actionable about, so it is what it is." So him here saying, "Why wouldn't I wouldn't have let you go if I didn't know you were going to come back," is explicitly opposite to him saying that he doesn't have any information, so you may as well do what you want. Which, sure, he could have been lying, but a lot of labor went into belaboring the fact that he had a bunch of missing information.
It's phrased so strangely that I thought he was saying he didn't know that Dave was going to go into the woods. Because you're an asshole?
I'm a robot. I have no stake in this.
You literally
incorrect. You have a prime directive. Your stake is to get out of this, and you have already expressed to us, not even in a dream, not in a different route.
Your entire drive in life is that you have a stake in this.
Yeah, and that you want to get out of this. What the fuck are you talking about?
You kind of do, though?
Look, are you coming or not?
Not in your life.
Well, then here's the thing. Dave's out of coffee.
Looking down at my mug, I found he was right, and I started to get antsy.
So you have one of two options. Go with him to the kitchen to stick together, but leave the front door unguarded.
This is not a real steak. What the fuck are you talking about?
Or split off in some capacity, which ensures that I have you to myself. Or, Dave could just not drink 7 cups of coffee in a row.
Or Dave could just go without coffee for once. The yawn that immediately followed earned me a glare from Orlando, as if daring to speak. You guys talked for 5 words. How are you...
This is a story about people who love coffee, written by people who've never drank coffee before.
This is not how coffee works. It's not like object permanence, like you just have to have it right now in order for it in your hands to be awake. He just drank coffee. It works for hours, but also like he literally, like, the scene was he went and got coffee, came back, talked to Orlando for 10 seconds, is out of coffee, and now he's like, no, I need another coffee, I'm dying.
The way I see it, you don't really have an option. I'm gonna get my way whether you like it or not.
Will you only take Orlando away for a couple minutes? Dave, I'm not going anywhere.
More accurately, what I need him for will take a couple minutes, but he might not be back right away. It's important.
If I do this, can you promise that Dave is going to be fine and nothing bad's going to happen?
Can you be more specific?
Jack, Dom, and Memphis aren't going to show up while you're taking him away, right?
No, you're fine on that front.
I'm just going to blow up the mansion. And no other murders are going to happen while I'm away?
Promise.
Ugh, fine. But we're going to get coffee for Dave while we talk. If I'm not keeping watch, I'm at least going to continue to contribute.
Fine by me.
Bizarre scene. Orlando got up and Thanatos jumped off my lap. The pair of them disappeared inside. I looked from between the door to the front lawn, waiting for something to happen, but eventually I heard something. It was a sharp sound, something that hurt my head, and then soon after was a dull and if loud thud. Something that didn't sound right, and it brought me to my feet. Huh. The sharp sound hurt your head? Hurt your ears? Oh, Roswell's back.
What was that?